Yeah, good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday as usual. And I hope everyone had a nice sleep, and I hope everyone is healthy today. And by the grace of our ancestors, the Almighty Lord, I wish everyone a happy Sunday. And yeah, you are welcome back to the Benin Empire Advancement League. Greetings to everyone, according to your time. No matter where you are in the world today, please listen to me very carefully. And before you start criticizing me, I would like you also to understand why I'm here today and what I'm going to be talking about. In the first case, I would like to talk about the Benin Empire and the slavery, you know, because there has been some um, I would say, some histories that suggest that we were not directly involved in slave trade, and at the same time, there are also some history that said that we were indirectly involved in slave trade, and I believe we should bring to our understanding why people think the way they think, and we should also bring to the understanding of these people why we think the way we are thinking, not just because we want to deny anything or something like that. Yes, because the reason for this is because of what is going on about our artifacts that is in America, especially, that is supposed to be returned, that is not yet returned. I believe we, the Benin, we should do a great job, and we should try to understand these people in a way, these people in America, why they are doing what they are doing. You know, uh, I have traveled almost all these countries. Uh, People are talking about like America, the Caribbean, and the South American. I believe when we the Beninese and most of our leaders, when they go to these places and go to their museum and listen to them very carefully, their history, and I believe we will be having some sort of understanding for these people, why they are doing what they are doing, you know, because in my time in Dominican Republic, in Jamaica, and so on, I used to visit most of their museum to understand these people very well. And I tried as much as possible also to do some many interviews with the indigents and now the indigents of those areas. Uh, Little people known about our people living in all these places. Somewhere like Argentina, you hardly see a black person today. Uh, the black population in Argentina, for example, disappeared, not just because they wanted to disappear, but people make them to disappear. People do something that they disappear. If you go to Cuba today, the same thing. If you go to Brazil, if you go to anywhere in this corner of the world, you will see how people are suffering, how our people are suffering. The majority of the people suffering from the economic crisis today is the black people, and we should also try to understand these people in a way. And these people didn't choose to be in those places they are today, just like I did. You know, I choose to be where I am today, and likewise most of you people. But these people, they didn't choose to be in those places. They didn't choose in the sense because they were either captured and sold, or they were forcefully taken from their homes. You know, we have to restate this because if we want to have a good relationship with these people, uh, allowing so many of them to be coming back home, then we should always stand by the truth, and they're always saying the truth. This is very, very important. This is very, very important, and we should also always try to make these people also understand also what we went through in the hands of these British people and all the colonial powers that colonized Africa. Because many people I talk to, for example, in Jamaica, I try to make them to understand what really transpired in those days while their parents or some of them were sold and some of them were captured, were war prisoners who were sold by also by those people who captured them to the slave masters. You know, these people today, I can assure you, at least, at least 80% of the Jamaicans will, will like to return back to Africa, return back to their homeland, you know, because they believe Jamaica is a name for them, it's their country, but their home is in Africa. And it's very, very important. That's why I'm saying in the title of this broadcast, uh, when I said our Oba is doing a great job, there's something behind it why I'm saying this, because we shouldn't forget these people are our children. These people are our children. They didn't choose to be where they are today. And their forefather went through hell. They went through hell to be who they are today. They sacrificed a lot to be where they are today. You know, can you imagine? If you imagine when you go to their museum, then you will imagine, then you will understand. You will cry tears. You will shed tears. What was done to these people, you know. So likewise, our own, you know, what Africa went through, because after during the slave trade and after the slave trade, Africa was in a loophole, to say the fact, was in a hole, because the young men and the young women who are supposed uh, to be taking care of the house and taking care of the elders were no longer there. We were having grandchildren without mothers. We were having grandchildren without fathers. That the history of Africa was lost. Not just Africa, the history of black people, you know, were lost in some ways. You know. After the invasion of the Benin Empire, we understand that a lot was lost also. And exactly this is what happened to these people. And if you go to somewhere like Jamaica today, then you will understand. Because I'm always using Jamaica, for example, because this is where you see so many different tribes from Africa concentrated in one particular place. You see Kwale people, you see Igbo people, you see Ga people, you see Akan people, and there's so many. You see so many tribes, but they managed to come together because all of them were black people to settle down, to settle their differences, you know. But the Benin of that period, and I repeat, was not directly involved in slave trade, but we were also indirectly involved. Indirectly involved in the sense that our territory was used most of the time to transport the slaves. Most of these slave convoy also passed through our territory to get to where they were, to their destination. Please understand what I'm trying to say. Lagos, for example, and when we are talking of Lagos, we should also talk about our present president. The Tinubu family and many of the Lagosians of that period were fully involved in slave trade. And Lagos was in that particular period our own territory. Likewise, places like Ondo and Ekiti, Oyo, as we our own territory. Most of these people, for example, in Jamaica today, are from all these areas. And when we are saying we are not directly involved, and I'm saying we are indirectly involved, we should have protected these people. But we refuse to do the needful, you know. And we knew of all this, but we refused to stop all this nonsense that was really going on. Although there was a proclamation that says there's no Benin person, there's no Benin person that should be sold to slavery or should go to slavery. But this was the later part of it, you know. Although the Beninese didn't have any slave trade relation with the British or nor the Portugal, because all we did with the Portuguese and the British were palm oil and rubber, you know. So people should understand this very well. I'm saying this uh, because of what is currently going on in the negotiations with these people about the Benin return of the Benin artifact. We should try to bring understanding to them, try to understand and try to know what they went through, try to have sympathy, you know, in some ways, because these people, they went through real hell, to say the fact. You know, for example, there was an Akan woman in Jamaica who, you know, when the trade, let me say, the trade was already banned, but our people still were still under slavery for more than 100 years. Can you imagine people, our our brothers and sisters were kept in a places where they have no choice. Either they take their lives by themselves, or they will die from sickness, or people will throw them into the Atlantic Ocean, you know. And after that, if they manage to survive that, where they are coming to, it's another different hell entirely, you know. So it's another different hell entirely, to say the fact. And you see, there was an Akan woman who was able to free herself, who ran away. For example, in Jamaica, who ran away and went to the top of the mountain. I don't know if you people listen to Bob Marley, and if you listen to Bob Marley, you will hear this music. You know, she left and managed to escape. This woman managed to escape in the night. She will come back to the area where she lived before to free other slaves and take them to the mountain. Okay, she did that successfully several times, and today you can see her status everywhere in Jamaica because of the great job she did, how she freed most of our black people from slavery, you know. And this didn't go unpunished for the black people there, for the Africans that were slaves there. It didn't go unpunished, you know. Those people who tried to escape with her, that was who didn't succeeded. Uh, there was something they did to them that no human being should have done to another human being. You know, For example, cutting off one of their breasts if you're a woman. As a man, your private part being removed. You know, and so many other things that really happen to these people. Uh, we, the Benin people today, we know that we were not directly involved, but we make no attempt. We make no attempt to stop what was going on in our territory, because if Lagos was our territory, we cannot really deny that, you know. Our own no state, Kitty, or we were also having a great influence there. So we should try to bring understanding for these people. Today, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I will say this. You know, we should go into negotiation with these people, because this is very, very important. We should give them the possibility of also returning home and tell them they will be welcome, whether they are from our tribes or not from our tribes, because this is very, very important. And I believe, to my own understanding, that these people, they respect our Oba very, very well, and they have high regard for him, to say the fact, and I believe our Oba also has the same for these people, but one thing we shouldn't do, we shouldn't allow ourselves to be used. For example, the Germans who actually made the contact to these people. There are some group of Germans and the British who are trying to sabotage all efforts that has been made to return all these artifacts. And I believe this group in America also understand that they shouldn't be used for any purpose. But there are some people who are very, very bitter about what happened to their parents, because most of them would like to use that opportunity to pay back. To say this is the work of the slave masters, also cooperated with the slave masters and all that. But they are in the minority. We shouldn't also ignore them also, because we have to find a way to go along with everybody. But in the case of those Germans who are trying to sabotage everything, we shouldn't have any dialogue with these people, because they caused all this mess we are today. Although many people are saying Germany didn't colonize Nigeria, but they did a lot to Nigeria. They did a lot to Cameroon. They did a lot to Namibia. They did a lot to all other parts of the world. The first concentration camps, the first genocide. There's so many things that really happened in Africa, what the German was involved in. The Second World War was also fought in Africa. Don't forget, and lots of our people lost their life also. So my own take on all this issue, before we start posting everything or anything about the artifact, I believe we should inform ourselves very well before we start doing that, because this particular group in America, they are not just standing on our way. They are also standing in the way that they can represent their people also, because they are demanding for reparation. But from my own personal view, I don't believe any reparation there's nothing that can repair the damage that was done to these people. That's my personal point of view. I'm not saying they should move on or something like that, but there should be a sort of reparation, but not financially or something like that. There must be a sort of technology and all other things to support these people. And our people, the Black people in America, they are very, 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 very progressive, and they are also very, very, very poor. We should know that. And I believe in this case, we can do a lot to help these people to stand on their feet, because this is the only thing we can really, really do for these people. Please, I will be leaving this here today. If you have any comment, if you have anything to add to all this, because I'm saying this because so many people will not believe what I'm saying, who were not directly involved, but who were indirectly involved. When we say indirectly, also think about the Shekeri people, So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the 20 minutes I spent here. So thank you very much, and God bless everyone.